Hey everybody, welcome to the first official episode of the Wednesday Checkup. I have my puppy Bear. Oh. Is he still in the shot when he's like this? I have to tell you a crazy story of something that happened to us just a few days ago. At the end of this video, I'm gonna be giving you tips on how to protect yourself in case a dog attacks you, and how to break up a dog fight if your dog gets into a fight with another. All right, let me get to this story. Bear will come back a little bit later and say bye to you guys. A few days ago, I was filming for the YouTube channel. Surprise, I'm not gonna tell you the video. It's gonna be out later this month. And I decided to take Bear downstairs to the dog park. Bear is there twice a day at least, so he knows all the other dogs. He plays really well, especially with the little Chihuahuas and Frenchies. There's even one that looks like a Wookiee. He loves it. He's in heaven. They're in heaven. All the owners know Bear. I get to the dog park. I see a young lady come in with a golden retriever. First little suspicious sign is her golden retriever pulled her in to the dog park. I was like, all right, she doesn't have great control of her dog. And I watch these things. I want to know right away if there's a problem dog coming in, so I have to hold Bear, make sure that he doesn't get hurt. It still looked friendly. Tail was wagging, and it's a golden retriever at the end of the day, you know? And right away she tells me that her dog doesn't really like big dogs and is kind of afraid of them. Bear said hi to that dog and it gave him like a little pause, and Bear just continued along his merry way playing with the other dogs. So about 5 minutes go by. All of a sudden, I see that Bear is standing right next to the golden side by side, but they're showing all the signs of aggression. Frozen, mouths closed, slobbering, tails up, very rigid pose. The other dog owner comes over and sort of shoves her dog away from Bear, and that triggers the golden. Snarling, and the golden just dives at Bear. I initially was like, okay, a dog fight, I've seen these happen, I know how to break this up, no worries. As soon as I run up to control the situation, she grabs her dog's collar. It was a big golden retriever. It was probably like 95 pounds. She ends up falling with the golden retriever because there's a little mound in the park, and she falls onto the concrete holding the golden. The lady starts screaming. Her golden is locked on her forearm. Her own golden retriever. She's screaming, it's me, crying for help. Two people from the street jump the fence of the dog park, start punching her dog in the face to get it to let go, because this is a big dog and it's completely like smashing her forearm. Finally, it lets go, but as soon as it lets go, it gets angry and jumps on her again. Luckily, all the people that were there, they were able to control it with the collar, pulling on its legs, this and that, pulled up her sweater and showed me her wounds, and she had deep puncture wounds. At least 3 deep puncture wounds, what it seemed like. And some smaller cuts as well, and bleeding from the nose and the head. And she's like, well, I don't need to go to the hospital for this. And I'm like, you really need to see a doctor. You don't know if you have an infection. You don't know if you're gonna continue bleeding. You need probably stitches and antibiotics. My adrenaline at that point was just through the roof. I've seen dogs get into fights many times. It just happens. You know, dogs are animals. You have to correct them sometimes. And I've even seen dogs accidentally bite humans when humans would put their hands in the middle of a dog fight. But I've never seen a dog attack another dog who, first of all, wasn't being violent, and then when separated, go after a human, but not just any human, its own human. If that dog went for her neck and bit through her jugular vein or carotid artery, she could have bled out and died. Here's what to do if your dog gets into a dog fight. First, please, whatever you do, don't stick your hands, fingers, arms, legs in between 2 dogs that are fighting. You're just asking to get bitten. If you have 2 dogs that know each other and they're sort of fighting at home, a very simple thing to do is throw a blanket over them. That would usually make them disperse. If you're in a situation where you want to say no and be firm and yell at the dog, I wouldn't really recommend that. Loud voices can actually get the dogs even angrier and make them want to go at each other more. Think about like a boxer inside a boxing ring. They don't hear people chanting, they're just in the zone. But on the off chance, if you have like something like an air horn that makes a really loud, high-pitched noise, it can be loud enough to disperse the fight. Now, the most effective way to separate 2 dogs that are fighting requires 2 people. One on either side behind the dogs. You want to pick up the hind legs and do something known as a wheelbarrow technique. As soon as you lift up the hind legs, generally the dogs will want to let go because they don't know what's going on. But as soon as you lift up the dogs, try and move in a circular fashion. As you move in this circular fashion, it'll give the dog something to do, but be careful because the dog will try and kick its legs out. You really need to get a solid grip and you don't want to get bitten. Now, what if the dog attacks you? First of all, do not run whatever you do. Dogs are very fast and they have a natural prey drive that makes them want to chase. Stand up tall, stand sideways, and not make eye contact. So it's not confrontational. You do still want to keep an eye on the dog without making eye contact. Next, in a firm voice, you want to tell the dog no. You just have to say it very passionately, confident that you're willing to stand your own ground. At the same time, you want to make fists. And it's not because I want you to get ready to fight the dog, but it's because the first things to get bitten and bitten off are fingers. If you keep them in fists, you're less likely to lose a finger. If the dog doesn't care that you try to stand non-confrontationally, not make eye contact, and gave it a command, and it still attacks you, at this point, you have to do what you have to do. Punch the dog in the nose, hit it in its throat. Those are its two most sensitive areas. If you can kick it in the rib cage, that's another thing you can do. And if you're completely losing the fight, make sure to roll up and protect your sensitive areas, your throat and face. If you're able to wrestle with the dog and get on top of it and pin it, know that the only way a dog can really hurt you is with its mouth. By getting on top of the dog and pinning it down, you can really neutralize the threat of the dog biting you. While you're fighting off this dog, you're also yelling for help in hopes that other people hear you and come to your aid. If the dog runs away or you're able to get away, call for help right away, and you need to go see a doctor. You need to make sure your vaccinations are up to date. If it was a rabid dog, you may need a series of injections. You'll probably need antibiotics. You may need sutures to stop the bleeding. Get help as soon as possible. The last thing you want to do is faint because of blood loss and not have anybody help you. Once your health is taken care of, make sure you report the dog bite to the proper authorities. The last thing you want is for that dog to bite another person or animal. I'm not an animal behavior specialist. I do have a lot of experience in raising dogs and understanding when they're about to get angry or do something wrong. But even here, I was shook. I needed to go and look up some information about what to do and refresh my memory. So I decided to make this video for you guys. Whether or not you own a dog, I think this is useful information. If you have any questions about this story, if you have any comments about this story, jump in the comment section down below. If you want more videos with my little bear pup, please let me know, because I'm always down to film with Bear and he loves being on camera. And most importantly, as always, stay happy and healthy.